Good evening. We would like to welcome you to the District 2 Forum. Here are the rules for tonight's debate. There will be 3 moderators reading the preliminary questions. After each moderator reads their question and completes it, each candidate will have that opportunity then to answer the question. They will have 3 minutes to answer that question, exactly 3 minutes to answer that question. When the bell or the buzzer sounds, that means that that person will stop talking. Their time will be up. At the conclusion of tonight's debate, each candidate will have the opportunity to distribute their literature to all. At this time, we will have introductions done by each candidate. Each candidate will now come up and introduce herself.
Good evening. Good evening. Of course, most of you know I'm Sherry Potts. I've been a resident of the city of Lanett for 72 years, a resident of West Charlotte for the past 46 years. I raised a daughter here in West Charlotte, raised a granddaughter here in West Charlotte. I'm a graduate of Lanett High School, class of 1970. Graduate of Auburn University, as most of you know. I returned to college at the age of 70. I graduated at 70, I went back to college at 68. Earned a degree in political science with a concentration in public administration. I always had a desire to be a politician, a lawyer, or someone who worked in public service. And so back in 1973, when I started at Auburn, I pursued public administration because I wanted to be a lawyer back then. And so when I went back, I found out that I could finish a public administration degree with 64 hours, but I could finish political science in 60 hours. And so I chose the 60 hours because the tuition is kind of steep, much more than it was when I was back there in the 70s. I decided to run for this office, and I'm going to get to tell you about that later, because I see change needed in our city, and particularly as it affects the West Charlotte area and District 2. So for that reason, I threw my hat in the ring and decided to take up the mantle and run for the office of City Council in District 2. I appreciate all the support from all the citizens of District 2 and look forward to further support. Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Chrissy Story. I'm married to Clifford Story Jr. Together we have 5 children. I am a product of the West Charlotte community. Maya Angelou penned a poem, Still I Rise. And there's a line in the poem that says, and it particularly struck me, it says, bring the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the dream and the hope of the slave. So I reflect on who I am. As I reflect on who I am, I can't help but reflect on the fact that I am the hope of those who came before me. I am the hope of those who sacrificed. I am the hope of those who gave without. I am the hope of a single mother, Rita Hicks Lee, who worked 3 jobs to take care of my brother and myself. I am the hope of a father who dropped out of high school in the 12th grade just to help support his parents and his siblings. I am the hope. I am the hope of my grandparents, Bishop, O.C., and Mother Juanita Hicks. Yes, I am the hope. I am the hope of my neighbors who helped raise me. Miss Matt Lou Woody, Miss Doris Woody, Miss Willie Bell Stanford, Mr. and Mrs. Bud Barker. I am the hope. I have been fortunate enough to obtain an associate's degree, a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, and I'm currently pursuing a doctorate degree from Liberty University, but it's simply because I am the hope. I'm the hope of those teachers who taught me. Our current mayor, Mayor Hurd, was my 5th grade teacher, gave me the only paddling I ever had. Mr. Arthur Dunn, the late Miss Katie Walton, the late Miss Linda Osborne. I am the hope. I have successfully run a child care business for 20 years because I am the hope of James and Linda Newton, who gave me my first job straight out of high school. I didn't apply for it. My mother got the job for me while I was on a trip. But I am the hope of local entrepreneurs like Mr. Cecil Ramsey, who still in his 90s is climbing on roofs. I am the hope. I'm the hope. I'm the hope of my aunt and my Bishop Bertha Hodge. That's how I survived ministry and being an elder in the church for 25 years because I am the hope. I'm bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the hope and the dream of the slave. I cannot tell who I am. I cannot consider what I have done unless I recognize the fact that I am the hope. Because they hoped, I'm here. Because they hoped, I hope to be your city council person. I hope to be elected on August 26, 2025 because they hoped I am here. Thank you.
That was powerful. So thank you. I am Teresa Booker-Williams, and I'm going to hold you long. I'm here because I had a similar story, but my story is really I have come from Houston, Texas, but I have a lot of family here, right? So I'll talk about that in my first actual question. It's a little bit similar. My journey is built on leadership, innovation, and community impact. I'm the daughter of Gus and Cora Williams Booker. I'm the wife of Michael Woody. I am stepmom to 3 children, I'm mother to 4, and I'm a Gigi to a host of children, to a host of grandchildren. I am a member of Mount Hermon Baptist Church under the leadership of Reverend Justin M. Freeman, and I am a proud member of the Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, embracing the organization's legacy of service and excellence. I own 2 businesses. I have a sauce businesses. My husband and I are co-owners of the sauce business called Booker 351. I'm also the co-owner of Cow's Place, newly renovated right here in Charlotte. I hold a bachelor's of science in business administration and a master's in my MBA, with a focus on international business and a number of professional certifications. Some that are relevant to serving as city council members are my certifications with Villanova University, which are your business process management. I have a Lean Sigma, Six Sigma Green Belt, and my project management master's. I also have a financing and managing major projects certification from Rice University with their executive education. So I would like to earn your vote tonight. So I hope that when my questions come up that I will hit your heart and that there's something in my answers that you will be able to realize that I'm the person that should be elected for your next city council seat in District 2. Thank you.
If you would, go ahead and give all 3 candidates a round of applause. Now, their first question for this evening is, what motivated you to run for city council, and how do you plan to engage with constituents to ensure their voices are heard?
Okay, my initial decision to run for city council was motivated by a professor of mine at our university in the public administration curriculum. I completed my degree in May of 23, and I wrote a letter to all of my professors asking if there was anything that I could do to help them. I was talking about maybe mentoring some students or something of that nature. However, my professor said, yes, you can do something for me, you can run for public office. I had to construct a city and put all of the parts, the elements of that city, and do a paper on how I would operate that city. I guess I must have done pretty good. She said, you need to run for public office. And so I was motivated by that. Secondly, I'm also motivated by the fact that I have been in West Charlotte. I was here before the annexation of West Charlotte. And Chrissy and I were having a conversation in the back where we talked about, we had a city before we were ever annexed into the city. We had people out here in West Charlotte who had all types of jobs. We had all types of businesses out here. So we were really our own city and very prosperous at that. And so then I found, after we were annexed, we kind of, were like the stepchildren, you know, like my analogy that I used before. We were the child that got adopted and found out there was no trust fund. Because our contracts from the power company and the water companies could not be bought. So we didn't come with any money attached to us. We were just drafted. And so we kind of got ignored. And because of that, I feel that the voices of our people have not been heard. And so for that reason, I was motivated to sign on. I actually had planned to run for mayor initially. But then there were so many running for mayor, I thought, you know what, I definitely can't win that one. So I'll try something else. And so city council was what I chose. I hope that, you know, of the three of us, I know that any of us are capable and able to represent District 2 at the city council of the city of Lanett. But I'm old, y'all gotta give me a chance. But in reality, like I said, any of us are capable. But I have a vision to be a voice for the people. We have not been heard for a long time. And it's time that the people of District 2 be heard. And I want to be that voice for the people. Thank you.
I was motivated to run for city council because I love Lanett. Particularly, I love the West Charlotte community. My husband and I moved back to West Charlotte last year. There was nothing strategic about it, but it was very intentional. It was with the intent to help make my community better. It was the intent to help to raise up those people who helped raise me up. The very same community that helped raise me up, I wanted to help raise that community. I grew up in the West Charlotte community, and I've lived the challenges, and I've lived the triumphs of this community. And I believe that our district is full of untapped potential. I spent 2 decades serving families in the classroom. Some of your children I taught either at Learning Treasure, or I taught them at Lanett Junior High School or Lanett High School. I spent a lot of time serving those families through education, mentorship, and community service. And what I've learned is that people aren't asking for perfection. They're simply asking to be heard. People just want to be heard. And if we don't ask, how will we hear? People just want to be heard. They want to be seen. They want to be respected. So I'm running because I want to bring visible leadership to District 2. That means leadership you can call, leadership you can see at community events, and leadership that listens before it acts. To ensure that our constituents are heard, which is the second part of this question, I plan to host quarterly district dialogues, which are open forums for feedback and updates, very similar to town halls. I'll launch a District 2 newsletter. I'm very excited about that, and that will be distributed in print, and it will be distributed digitally. I will create a District 2 social media page to streamline communication between the communities, because we're well aware that District 2 is comprised of Plant City and West Charlotte. So I think that we need to streamline communication. We need to know what's going on in Plant City. We need to support Plant City. Plant City needs to know what's going on in West Charlotte, and they should do likewise. So I'll create a social media page. I will also create a District 2 alliance. Those stakeholders in the community who are really interested in getting down in the mud. We see a lot of talk, very little action sometimes. We see the same people who are doing things in the community, but I want to create an alliance that is comprised of stakeholders in our community, and my promise is to keep an open door, open ears, and an open heart. Thank you.
So what motivated me to run for city council? First, I'm going to kind of tell you that my decision to move to Lanett was not political at all. It was a spiritual journey. After my father passed away, my heart led me to Lanett. Because I came here during the summers. My mother was born and raised here, and she sent me back here every summer to bond with my grandmother, my cousins, my aunts, etc. And so because of that, I have I love genealogy. I can actually trace the family history right here in Lanett back to the 1800s. where there was John Williams and Lori Winston, who are my fourth great grandparents, and also I found Sarah Sheely, my fifth great grandmother, a slave. I still treasure quilts that were created and covered by my great grandmother, Evelina Jenkins. So it's personal for me. So I know I too moved here last year. My husband and I have been married going on 5 years. It was a long distance relationship. My common theme tonight will be, I have been working for you already. I was doing things yesterday. I will be doing things today. So after moving to Lanett, I was guided by a sincere desire to create change. I joined the Executive Democrat Committee. I helped lead voter registrations. I was actually instrumental in getting 3 felony offenders their right to vote back again. I learned that the hospital was closed, and then I decided to have a community health fair. So I've been working for you already. They wanted some, and it was also these particular efforts that sparked conversation, and many urged me to run for office. They wanted someone with a fresh perspective, someone who gets things done without asking. I was inspired to run for my love of this district, the legacy of my ancestors, and the encouragement that I received from fellow residents. So, my commitment, I will continue to be engaged, just like I have been, with open face-to-face conversations. I will set up a dedicated phone line and continue using social media to gather concerns and share updates. To ensure every voice is heard, I will establish 6 community-led committees aligned with each pillar of our shared vision that you see on my flyers, created by the people for the people.
Local economy and budget. What policies would you support to attract new businesses and support small local businesses?
First off, I believe in strengthening the business. Our business is already rooted in Lanett. I believe that we have to strengthen that which remains and is about to die. More specifically, the businesses in the District 2 communities, and as you all saw a couple of weeks ago, we led an initiative to do some updating to the sign at Walton's Grocery here in our community. We also spearheaded a Shop Local initiative where we went out. We invited everyone to come in to shop at Walton's Grocery because we wanted to spark change in our community. We wanted to make sure that our voices were heard, and we wanted to make sure that he knew that we support him. We wanted to generate income for him, and he said that was one of his best days in a very long time. I would support offering tax incentives or grant programs for local entrepreneurs. These businesses create jobs. I'm a local entrepreneur myself. So for me personally, I've created 8 to 10 jobs. It's a yearly cycle. Most of my people stay with me, but 8 to 10 jobs. So these are the businesses that create jobs, and they keep dollars in our community, and they reflect our culture. To attract businesses, I would work with economic development partners to promote Lanett as a destination, not as a pass-through. We're not a pass-through. Come here and stay. We're worthy of that. That means marketing our available properties, streamlining the permit process, and highlighting our skilled workforce. I also support the use of small business hubs like Think Innovation and Entrepreneur Center that just recently had its grand opening in Valley. I support partnership with local colleges and other nonprofit organizations offering access to trainings, to financial literacy, and startup coaching. When small businesses thrive, our city thrives. Thank you.
So let's talk about business. So the first thing I would do is do an audit of the general business land that we have right here in Lanett. I would review the parcel zone for business to assess the health of those businesses. There could be some businesses out there that has equipment on it. The people have shut up shop and now the weeds are growing over those items. We need to clean that up. I would incentivize landowners to partner with the city, encourage owners to redevelop or collaborate on the use. I would also prioritize community serving businesses like clinics, farmers markets, and local vendor pop-up shops. Lanett already has a business-friendly tax incentive, so I would promote existing incentives with tailored packages. I would attract viable industries committed to local hiring. We want to bring business to us. Let's also make sure that they hire from within our district first. So that doesn't mean that we're going to give everything away. We will still require enforced environmental and safety codes. But also, I have been working with the Small Business Development Center for the past 2 years. So again, I've already been working for you. And after Cal's Place was renovated, I actually asked them, can you bring all of your experts to Cal's Place so that we can help our small business entrepreneurs, those who have a business, and help them to maintain it, sustain it, but also to help with people who want to be up and coming entrepreneurs. They will bring their experts here. We will have a program. I was lucky enough that they were impressed by me. I was lucky enough to be given a seat at the table with the Auburn New Business Venture Program because of the work that I was already doing around the small business hubs. So more to come in that area. I will say, these services will be free. I want to make it free to everyone. It won't be just for our district, it will be for all of Chambers County. So, I would also like to ensure that our businesses, again, that are coming in, that we must attempt to hire District 2 residents from within. I'm not sure if you guys know this, but we have had a reduction of our population decline about 0.9% a year. I want to encourage people to come back. We will start with our small businesses. We will start with actually getting businesses in so people don't have to leave here to go somewhere else to work.
Well, I would start, first of all, by encouraging all of our citizens to shop local. I'd also encourage our owners of those businesses to upgrade their customer service so that our people will want to shop local. We need to have a relationship with our small businesses that will get them the business that we're taking down to Tigertown and other places. Now, in order to get retail shops and so forth here, we have to keep in mind that we are a member of the Industrial Development Authority. That is who recruits the businesses that come here. We would have to address our relationship with the Industrial Development Authority to find out why businesses are being recruited but not recruited to Lanett. We need to talk with them. Perhaps we need to redo our contract with them so that they can get businesses for us. Perhaps we need to contact businesses that we realize that are not already in Valley, restaurants, retail stores, and so forth, that we could get here. But before we can do any of that, we have to find out where the property is that we can place these businesses. So we'd have to sit down with the city council and the mayor and find out where can we recruit businesses to. Because to get them here is good, but you gotta have somewhere to put them when they get here. And the Industrial Development Authority does the recruiting. We are a member. Supposing we pay into the Industrial Development Authority, is that right now, Eric? So they have a responsibility to the city of Lanett to recruit businesses for us. We have been left out, and so perhaps we need to have a sit-down roundtable with the Industrial Development Authority to find out why all the businesses are being recruited to Valley, and we sit right here. Now, the next thing for me is that I would love to see us get businesses here on the corridor of 85. We are a prime location for businesses on the 85 corridor. Schools like Auburn have football games, and those people who come to those football games, and those alumni are very faithful, they house all the way up to Newman. So if we had another sustainable hotel here, even if the city had to invest in purchasing it, so that we could get some of this money that's going up and down 85, and that when people come down 85 or go up 85, they don't always have to exit to the right to go to Valley, or to the left to go to Valley. I would love to see us get businesses here so that people can exit to the right to come to Lanett. And I don't remember seeing any of our businesses on any of the signs on 85. We perhaps need to address that, because we do have some businesses that are right off the interstate where people could shop, but if it's not out there, they don't know that when they're off the interstate that they can go to the right, or they can come across the bridge and go to the left.
Question 3 is coming from the housing and development section. And what is your stance on zoning reforms to promote affordable housing?
So before I tell you my stance, I really want to share a quick story, because I believe housing is not just an issue, it's the foundation of community stability. I want to encourage people again to come back to Lanett. Again, we have had a population decline, and I would love to turn that around. And my husband and I built our home in West Sharman because we were serious about impacting change right here in District 2. We wanted to show others that it's okay to invest in District 2. Come on back home. So a lot of you have ancestors like myself. You have land that they left you. Land is very powerful right nowadays. Land is very valuable. Please come on back to Sharman and build. Come on back to Plant City and build on that land. So now I'm going to get into my stance. Again, the common theme is I've been working for you already. I was knocking on doors, and a neighbor informed me that modular homes had been outlawed. So I contacted the mayor, asked him, hey, give me a little bit more information about that. He told me in 2013 that there was an ordinance that had passed prohibiting single wide trailers and placed tight restrictions on modular homes. I asked the mayor, would he be willing to bring that to the table with the city council to update the ordinance, and he said yes. But if the votes aren't there, because we have to have all of the city vote, I have to have 3 other city council members to vote yes to anything that we want to do in order to get it passed. So, let's say that doesn't happen. I have a plan for the plan. So, if that doesn't happen, I have a plan to develop a hybrid housing model that blends modular and traditional built homes. I've already consulted with a local architect in Lanett with over 30 years of experience, who is ready to join our planning team and help design beautiful spaces where families can rebuild on their land. We all know they've been tearing down a lot of houses. We have holes in our community, and we can build back better. I would build a team that would include specialized builders, investors, city inspectors, and be sure to include local input and education to ease worries and build trust in this new development. We will also engage with the Fuller House to give residents more than one path to choose for their housing preference. I don't want to leave existing homeowners out. I want to secure funding to support existing homeowners in District 2 with building fences, exterior painting, and other improvements that enhance curbside appeal and uplift the entire neighborhood.
Well, I'm in favor of affordable housing. We have to determine what affordable is. We have to find out, what the median is here in this area. And then we can discuss affordable housing. One of the problems that we're going to encounter, though, is that when you talk to citizens about rezoning for affordable housing, the word affordable housing has a stigma attached. People automatically think low income. They don't think about people who work. They automatically think low income. And so for that reason, a lot of citizens reject the idea of affordable housing. Now, I'm totally in favor if we can get an ordinance that allows us to put apartments in place. Where would we put those apartments in place? Where's the land? Because we know now that the Hispanics are buying up everything that becomes empty around here now. That's a problem for us, and our people are so willing to sell it that, you know, even if people inherited land, they're looking at the dollar value, not the land itself. So if they can convert it to green paper, that's what they're doing, and they don't really care who buys it. So people are selling the land. So we would have to do a lot of research to find out if there are places where we can put affordable housing. If the rezoning can take place, then what the citizens feel about the rezoning of the area that they live in. And most citizens are not favorable about rezoning when you talk about affordable housing. I agree that we do need housing that is affordable, but it is a complex thing that we have to address. And so we have to sit down at a round table and really discuss the things that are necessary for affordable housing.
I believe that housing is a human right. We must create conditions that make safe or portable housing accessible to all residents of Lanett, especially working families, seniors, and young adults starting out. I support smart, community-informed zoning reforms that encourage mixed-use development and adaptive reuse of vacant properties for affordable housing. And like Ms. Sherry said, affordable does not mean low income. What's affordable for you may not be affordable for someone on this side of the room. We want to make sure that it's affordable. We need to take advantage of some of our dilapidated properties, some of the property that is attached to these dilapidated homes. But we must ensure that any zoning changes respect the character and the culture of our community. We don't just want to put up any old thing. Charlotte has a rich and robust history. We want to make sure that we maintain that when we talk about affordable housing, when we talk about adding to our neighborhoods. I also want to explore incentives for developers who build affordable housing units while preserving green space. I think that's important. We need green space. We need somewhere to exercise. We need somewhere to walk our dogs. We need green space. And preserving community infrastructure. Every family deserves a home they can afford without sacrificing their dignity or their safety. Thank you.
Our next topic is public safety. What strategies would you propose to improve public safety in our neighborhoods?
Public safety. First of all, public safety involves us all, not just the police. So we as a community must come together to create safety in our community. We have to get to the people who have their feet on the ground, like these young folks who are out and about, who see what's happening in our communities. Most of us are old enough that we don't get out and around enough to see what's happening. So if we recruited these young people and make them feel responsible, not through criticism, but by providing them with encouragement so that they can police our streets and tell us when there are things going on that we know are not legal. We can also have sit-downs, the community can have sit-downs with the police department to discuss with them what the needs of our community are. We think about the police as our enemy when they really should be our friend. But to be our friend, they need to come and sit down with us and hear what we have to say about our community, how our community is protected. There used to be things like the neighborhood watch. We can make our young folks our neighborhood watch, and they'll watch it because they're out there. We recruit these young people and ask them to monitor our streets to keep them safe. These young folks see what's going on out there. Their feet are already, their boots are already on the ground. They see everything that's happening in our communities. If we would recruit them and ask for their help in keeping our communities safe, I believe our communities could be safer. Then we would know when we talk to the police officers what things we need to address as they relate to the citizens of our district. Thank you.
I believe that public safety isn't just about law enforcement. It's about prevention, presence, and it's about partnership. I would support a community policing model that builds relationships between officers and residents. My motto in my classroom was rules without relationships equals resistance. You give me rules, but you don't develop a relationship with me, I'm gonna resist you. So I firmly believe that if we could develop a community policing model that would help in our efforts to improve public safety. This looks like officers walking the neighborhoods, attending community events, and we do have a lot of that going on, but I think there needs to be an increase in that. And being a familiar, trusted presence, not just someone you see during a crisis. Most of the time when we see police, we've been pulled over, something has happened in our neighborhood, and it's nothing good. So we need to make sure that we're supporting our police officers as well as we want them to support us. But safety also means providing our youth with safe places to go. And in the West Shore community, a lot of times it's those young people who have nothing else to do, no other place to go, and positive role models. We must provide positive role models. I would invest in after-school programs, mentorship, and mental health access for youth and families. I have already began to work on some of this. I've had conversations with Ms. Chrissy for our young men in our community. I started a mentorship program through my daycare center where I have young people come in who desire to be mentors. I spoke today at a Kidspreneur event where there are up-and-coming, and I would love to see that model in our community, up-and-coming entrepreneurs who had a chance to take a week-long class. So it was my honor to speak with them today. I would advocate for mandatory mental health first aid for those in law enforcement and those who deal directly with our young people. Mental health is a crisis in our community, and it must be addressed. But if an officer comes out and there's someone having a mental health crisis, they identify it as resistance and defiance if they've not been trained. So I would advocate for mental health first aid. Lastly, I support neighborhood-led efforts. One of them mentioned block watches. I think it was Ms. Sherry. We need to go back to the neighborhood watch. We need to go back to block watches, lighting improvements, and regular safety audits. What's going on? How much lighting do we have? Because the people who live here know what's happening. They just need a system that listens and responds. Thank you.
So safety isn't just about enforcement. It's about trust, visibility, and collaboration. With smart tools, community input, and real investment, we can make District 2 one of the safest parts of Lanett. We need a partnership with our police, our city officials, and with Crime Stoppers. All of us together, working together, we can make a difference. We can launch awareness around Crime Stoppers because, let's face it, sometimes people are not willing to say what they see. But if there is an anonymous way of doing so, Crime Stoppers is one of those ways. They can actually do that. I would like to also implement a solar camera and dusk to dawn light bulb giveaway. What this is I would love to give away one dusk to dawn light bulb that would screw into any existing light fixture so that the areas would be well lit. These light bulbs would go to people who are 65 and older who've had a problem with people just walking up on their property and taking things. That's been happening. And so, in addition, in combination with that, I would also provide solar cameras to those same individuals. I would like to provide solar cameras to them. And studies have shown that visible cameras in well-lit areas can reduce theft and crime by 36%. So, I would propose that type of plan with District 2. Another thing, and it's already been said, but build trust through visibility and consistent outreach. I met with the chief of police yesterday, and she talked about outreach, having more outreach activities with the community and the police is definitely something that's in her plan. So that's my stand on public safety.
Question 5, infrastructure and transportation. What plans do you have to improve roads, and should the city invest in expanding roads?
I believe that Lanett deserves better infrastructure, period. We deserve better infrastructure. And talking to some of the constituents in the community, I found out that we have issues with sewage backing up in people's yards, and we're living in 2025. That's unacceptable. And so I've spoken with several people about that. And I know we're talking about roads, but you can't talk about roads without also addressing some of the problems that are going on with other parts of our infrastructure. I support prioritizing repairs to our most dangerous roads, the most neglected roads, especially in neighborhoods that have been historically ignored, which is District 2. I've done a lot of riding, I put a lot of miles on my car, just riding through the neighborhoods. Our roads are bad. And I won't promise you that every road will be fixed in 1 year. It's not going to happen. I've done my research. I found out that it's very expensive even for 1 mile of road. So let's not get it twisted that we can get all these roads fixed in a year, in a day, in a week, in a month. It's not going to happen. But we deserve better infrastructure. And I'm appreciative to the council and the mayor because there have been some upgrades to our roads. But I believe that rather than immediately expanding roads, I believe in improving what we already have. I would like to see improvements. I would like to see sidewalks. I would like to see curbing. I would like to see sewer drainage for our neighbors who don't have access to that. It's unacceptable. And I would like to see accessibility. In some areas, yes, expansion may be necessary for traffic flow or safety, but that should come after careful community consultation. I believe in speaking to those people who live in the neighborhood. I believe in listening. What do you need? How can I help you? What I think you may need, I might not need it on 21st Street. My road just got paved. So I may not need what you need, but I want to listen. What infrastructure changes would you like to see? I want to consult with the community. I would also advocate for clear timelines and communication about construction projects. There was a little bit of a mix-up with what was going on with the community here recently. Those roads have been scheduled to be paved, but because of situations out of the control of the mayor and the council, they just got paved. But I think it's important that we have clear guidelines about construction projects so that residents know when and where repairs are happening and why. Thank you.
So back to the theme of I've already been working for you. I've been knocking on doors, and that's what I've done over the last 2 months after I decided that to run for city council. So I've been knocking on doors, asking people. The vision that I had was built by the people. It's just really the collective feedback that has come from everyone I've spoken with. So, of course, roads is at the top of everyone's mind. And through ongoing conversations with residents, several problem areas have been identified. I'm going to give you a few examples. These are not all of them, but just a few, including over East 20th Street in Plant City, 27th Street Southwest, where overgrowth has consumed the roadway, and 18th Avenue Southwest, which is a road that has never been properly repaired. Infrastructure challenges exist beyond the streets. We have drainage issues like the one at the intersection of 23rd and 20th Avenue Southwest continue to impact safety and accessibility. That's why on day one, I will present an already work with the community list to the city council. And just like Ms. Doria said, it's not going to be an overnight thing. I'm talking about we should be able to have a good list and prioritize that list and work that list over the next 4 years. That's how I plan to try to make some progress with our roads. That list will be tracked, it would be progress, and I will have monthly reports for the community in that area. But we have another huge safety issue. I discovered that our street signs in Lanett don't match the official 911 map. That's not just an inconvenience, it's dangerous. My package getting delivered to somebody else's house because they can't find my stuff in the GPS, I talk with other people are having that same issue. It's because the 911 map and our street signs are not in sync. I will propose a street address and signage audit, ensuring signs match the 911 system, and we would work on updating the Google and Apple Maps and other GPS platforms to update navigation data. This will protect every resident and support better delivery and emergency response. Just imagine if there's an ambulance when you need it and it's going around in a circle. As far as road expansions, I support strategic investment, but only where it adds value and safety.
As far as infrastructure goes, I know that the streets of this area are in great disrepair because of neglect. And we buy gas in the city of Lanett, we're paying gas taxes, so the city should receive those taxes. Those taxes need to be reinvested, but we need to study our streets to figure out which ones need the repairs ahead of others. Like I have to go on 17th Avenue to go home. I was driving a Volkswagen, and 1 year I had to have my front end line 4 times, and I was creeping down 17th Avenue. That should not be. We need to get our streets together, and we need sidewalks. We'd like to feel like we're part of the city. We'd like to have some of the stuff that they have over there. We'd like some sidewalks, some curbing. We'd also like for our streets to be assessed for paving. Prior to them being paved, we need to look at the water pipes and the sewage that is beneath those streets so that we know that they can handle the paving. Because it makes no sense to pave the street, and then when the winter comes and the water swells in those pipes and those pipes burst, then we gotta dig that street back up to fix some water pipes. So we need to get our engineers or whoever to study those things that are beneath the streets before we pave them, so that once we get it done, our community can start to look beautiful like other communities are. I hold that we as a community, I think we kind of tend to neglect because we've been so neglected. It's kind of hard to plant flowers in your yard when your neighbor next door has weeds growing on their nails. There's no incentive. And so I think if we would start to doing some things in our own community, perhaps the city would jump on board with us and start beautifying us as other areas of the city are beautified.
Our next question comes from the Environment and Sustainability section. How can the council encourage renewable energy and green building practices?
So this one I took a lot of care and studying about with the help of my husband. We were brainstorming on this particular question because I love this question. It's a great question. Now, I do want to say that my QR code will have an expanded response to all the questions, so you can go there. So if I run out of time on this one, you can actually click on the QR code and you'll be able to see my full and complete response. However, so I have big ideas, and this big idea is about bringing smart neighborhoods to Lanett. So what's a smart neighborhood? Smart neighborhoods are communities designed with cutting-edge technology, from solar panels and battery storage to smart thermostats and energy-efficient appliances that work together to lower the cost, boost reliability, and protect the environment. These neighborhoods that are smart neighborhoods are 35% more energy efficient than standard homes. Residents enjoy lower utility bills, greater energy control, and enhanced resilience during storms or outages. Our district is unique. District 2, we have some of our folks are zoned to Alabama Power, and some of our folks are zoned to the city of Lanett. Because of this uniqueness, we would need to deploy 2 pilot programs, and they could both be right here in District 2, under separate entities. So there's already Alabama Power already has something called Smart Neighborhoods. It was a segment on 60 Minutes at one point, where their pilot program used solar panels and battery storage to collectively generate 600,000 of kilowatt hours per year. They actually have something happening at this time over in the valley. So we need to get in where we fit in with that one. It already is existing, they're putting things up, and I believe that we need to figure out how we can get into that for our citizens in our area. As it relates to the people who are zoned to the city of Lanett, the city of Lanett already had a solar project that is, the city of Lanett already has a solar project that they are doing with the Alabama Municipal Electric Authority. I believe that we can use that research that we've done with that municipal authority, and then try to see if there is something that we can do for the people on the Lanett city side to also make sure that they can enjoy a smart neighborhood.
My proposal for utilities and the environment and sustainability, it would be good if we could start using some recycle bins and getting rid of some of our plastic bottles, or glass bottles. We could also find a location in the city of Lanett, because the solar panels that we have they're not enough to decrease the utilities for the citizens of Lanett. However, like she said, some of us are with Alabama Power, some of us are with the city of Lanett. Those solar panels would be ideal if we had enough of them, that we could generate enough electricity from those solar panels to reduce the utility bills for the citizens of Lanett, especially those who receive their utilities from the city of Lanett. Some of the citizens in the city of Lanett, even those out here, have some pretty large utility bills. Those solar panels would be the perfect thing to get their utilities down if we had enough solar panels to generate enough electricity so that our citizens could get their electricity from the solar panels, as opposed to the city having to purchase it and then sell it. Those of us who get it from Alabama Power, we tend to have just a tad bit lower bill. Thank you, Alabama Power. And we could do some recycling so that our amount of waste is not so great. I know that now the city does not collect our waste, but perhaps there will come a day when we can get our own trash trucks again, and we could collect our own waste and recycle a good bit of that waste and turn that waste into energy so that we could provide utilities to the citizens at a lower cost. That's my primary concern, is that utilities go down so that they are more affordable for our residents. And I just believe that if we could also use some of our green space, we could build buildings that are compatible, keeping our green space. We could ask that recycled materials be used for any buildings that are going up in our city. We could also request that those that are building those buildings, we don't want a lot of concrete, we want some green to be kept around it so that our city can be beautified, and at the same time, we could be efficient with our sustainability.
I think that sustainability isn't just for big cities. Most of the time when we think of sustainability, we think of big cities. It's for all of us, especially Lanett. Lanett has the opportunity to lead by example. I support offering incentives or tax breaks for homeowners and developers who install solar panels, use energy efficient materials, or incorporate green design. We can also introduce citywide energy audits. My brother-in-law and I were talking the other day about energy audits, where our code enforcer comes out and he has to look at your house. Like, Or do you have cracks in your windows? Do you have spaces that air is coming in? I think energy audits are important for us to help reduce our utility bills and to help to make sure that we are utilizing the energy. Because we do want to reduce the utility bills. We also want to reduce our carbon footprint. I would push for grant funding and partnerships with utility providers to bring solar energy and community garden programs into our neighborhood. We did a garden at our daycare center. So we were able, it went from the garden to our plate. And that was very exciting for the kids. And so I feel like if we teach them when they're young, if we teach them to garden, if we teach them those things that are going to help sustain the environment, then if they learn it now, they'll know it later and they'll put that into practice. So I was excited to be able to, but I think a community garden would be something that we could implement here in our community, actually in both communities in District 2. Green practices save money. They protect our environment, and they will make District 2 a healthier place to live for today and for generations to come.
Our next topic is education and community services. What initiatives would you propose to improve parks, libraries, and community centers?
Well, since we don't have a park, we don't have a library, we do have a community center, but I would propose that we would use the eyesore over there where the Lanett Bill was and the Lanett Works, and perhaps we could produce those things. We could have a park, we could perhaps put a library there, and we could do improvements to our community center over at LB Sites so that we could compete. I mean, we don't have a program that competes with Valley, and so we lose a lot of our people to Valley. If we had a facility that competed with the one that Valley has, then our folks could stay home. Like, we got a swimming pool that kids get to enjoy in the summer, and they have a summer program that I know the story was involved in about the wet days and so forth. But there are a lot of other programs that we could implement if our center was just brought just a bit up to par. And I would think that I would love us to have a library, but we have access to Chambers County Library. But if the city of Lanett had a library, it would be fantastic. If we had a park, it would be more than fantastic. If we had walking area, places where kids could go and play in the park, would just be lovely. And I would propose that perhaps we could do something with that eyesore to get rid of the eyesore so that we could have those things. Now, where's the money coming from? That'd be up to the mayor to find the money. The mayor would have to find the money. But I know that there are all types of grants out there for all types of things. We would just have to do our due diligence to find the funds to finance those things that will bring our city just up a tad. And that's my goal, is that our city come up. We could even put a park out here in West Shama. That we have land out here. I mean, of course, now the Going East owns the Going East District Center, and they have Head Start there. But that park could be refurbished and brought back to life, and we could go over there, and I'm sure they wouldn't mind. We could ask them, and we could go over there and entertain ourselves. But we do need some recreational facilities, even in this neighborhood. We could increase the stuff at the community center, introduce recreational facilities to this community. Thank you.
I agree with Ms. Sherry. We don't have a library. We don't necessarily have a park. And I would propose that we started to build a fund or apply for grants so that we could have parks. Some of my fondest memories were spent at Boyne East District. I have people in here that I grew up with, and we rode on the merry-go-round. We cut our legs on the merry-go-round over by Boyne East District. That was our meeting space. Those were our spaces of healing. When I got a chance to see my friends, that was my time for healing. Mama had made me clean up all day, so that was my time. So that's where healing took place. That's where bonding happened. Some of my closest friends and neighbors, I'm still friends with them today because we were able to go to the park at Bowen's district. I would love to see, I've been taught that you use what's in your hand. Sometimes you won't get anything else, but if we use what's in our hand, no, we don't have a library in Lanett, but there is a library in Chambers County that I would encourage everyone to use. I just recently found out that the library, you can rent books digitally, and also you can go and physically check them out. But we have to use what's in our hand. When the resources aren't where we are, we have to go where the resources are. But I would prioritize restoring our playground at Bowen's district. I would love for my grandchildren to cut their legs on the same merry-go-round. That's mine. They need a safe place. Ms. Sherry mentioned I do Wet Wednesdays. The little boys have been recruiting other people to go with us. So tomorrow I'm hoping to have a lot more kids because all they want is a safe space. Sometimes transportation is an issue. They can't get to the library, but I can take them to the pool. And as your council person, that won't stop. That's something, affording transportation to people who don't have access to that, that's something that I will continue. I want to start trips to the library. I've been in talks with someone who does a mobile library. But we have to be prepared and we have to receive the resources that come in to us. I do support use of the public library. There are things you can do at the library, from digital coaching to job coaching, digital literacy. But we have to ensure that what we do have, what's already in our hand, we have to make sure it's open late. We have to make sure that we extend to those weekend hours so that our youth have access to tutoring and fitness and workshops. I envision a community that partners with local organizations, community stakeholders. There are several community stakeholders in this room that have been doing amazing things for our city. We have to continue to use those people who want to be used. There are some people waiting in hiding just for somebody to say, I need you, I need you, I need you. So I believe that we must partner with our local community stakeholders and educators to create spaces for learning, involvement, and fitness. Thank you.
So it's a common theme, everyone, even when I came down here for the summers, I was over there at the ballpark behind Bowen East District. I mean, I was there from sunup to sundown with my cousins. We did everything there, and that is why that I would like to meet with the owners of that land. I plan to meet with the current owners and work out partnership with the city to revitalize the park. Remember earlier I talked about incentive plans for working with different owners, landowners, so that we can actually revitalize some things. So that's one of the things that I would do. I just imagine a new playground with slides and swings, updated basketball courts, and a baseball field. Fresh landscaping, having a walking trail, and then I learned that there is also, or was, also another ballpark in that area that's kind of somewhere in the weeds now, and the landscape has grown up over it. So why don't we revitalize the entire thing and actually make something happen for the children right here in District 2. So the other thing is, we're living in a health desert. So I would propose a District 2 Wellness Network, a coalition of churches, clinics, businesses, and volunteers who help distribute health information, host walking clubs, connect residents with services like mammograms, prostate health, low-cost cervical assessments, diabetes screenings, etc. And I want to really integrate wellness into everything that we do. So when we talk about walking trails over there, we can not have to walk in the street. We can walk in the trails right over in District 2. I'm also in discussion with one of the leading providers of care in this area to create a satellite clinic in District 2. More to come on this. This is a new development. Because I said before, I've been working for you already. And then finally, we all talked about there is a library over in Chambers County. But Chambers County also has a bookmobile. And I would like to set up an established path where the bookmobile comes to our neighborhoods and in West Sharman and Plant City, making learning mobile, accessible, and visible for everyone. I would propose transforming underused buildings into micro hubs for seniors and youth. Now, this again, I have a QR code that has the expanded response, so if you'd like to go check it out, please do so.
Question 8, ethics and transparency. What reforms, if any, would you propose to increase trust in the local government?
I believe that trust is earned. It's not something that you're freely given. And from talking with constituents, I feel that a lot of residents feel disconnected from decision making. They're not being consulted. They don't know what's going on. They're not being told what's going on. So I think that they feel disconnected. Well, I've been told they feel disconnected from decision making. I would continue to push public access to council meetings via live streaming, and I think that the council does an amazing job of making sure that those council meetings are live streamed through Facebook. We have April Ross there. We also have Gator Media there. I also believe to help increase trust that we need to have easy to read budget breakdowns. Everybody does not do finance. So people need to be able to understand the bottom line. What do we have? What did we spend? And everybody's not able to, so I believe that we should have easy to read budget breakdowns. I also want to create a District 2 dashboard that tracks community requests and progress. Measures metrics like roads that need pavement, roads that have been paved, lights that need fixing, lights that have been fixed. If we don't track it, how do we know that it's actually happening? I think it's important that we create that dashboard to track those requests. We don't know what the requests are if we don't. We don't know if the requests have been met if we don't track them. We need leaders who don't just speak at the people. If we're talking about increasing trust, we need people who speak with them. I believe in accountability measures like public reporting, open office hours, and a commitment to returning every email, every phone call, every text message. Now, it may not be today, but it should not be next month when we return those phone calls or emails or text messages. And I will tell you this, I won't make a lot of promises. I just will not stand here and make a lot of promises. I won't oversell and underpay. I'm not going to do that. But what I will do is I promise you that I will hear you. I promise you that I see you because I'm in the community. I promise you that I return your text, I return your call, and I will return your messages. So I think that those are the ways that we can increase trust in local government. Transparency should be a promise. It shouldn't be just I stand up here and say, oh, I'll be transparent, you'll know what's going on. Transparency should be a practice. It should be something that we do. And I'm ready to lead by example.
So for transparency, I intend on having monthly District 2 reports, share updates on city votes, infrastructure progress, and development goals. I intend on having monthly listening sessions. An open invitation for District 2 residents to meet with me. Gather concerns, feedback, and maintain that same grassroots connection that I did in this campaign where I knocked on your doors, I asked for your feedback, I had meetings with a number of people, I asked for your feedback, and collectively, we now have a shared vision. So, along that same line, I will create a citizen-led committees for every platform that I have in our shared vision. So that I'm making sure that I'm getting feedback from the community on a consistent basis. Under ethical leadership, I believe that, in some cases, we all need to make sure that we recuse ourselves from any vote presenting ethical concerns. That's just to make sure that the citizens feel comfortable enough with you making that decision or with the decision being made across the board. I would also bring my corporate level accuracy to our municipal budgeting. And I feel like that is a precision in financial oversight. Leadership, my leadership is rooted in integrity. So I started by talking with neighbors. I will continue to do that by listening, reporting, and responding. I will be transparent, fair, and accountable every step of the way.
When I speak of transparency, I'm an open book. I'm open to the people to discuss any concerns that they may have, and I feel that City Hall as a whole has to be likewise. So people have to know that they have access to the mayor, to the council, that the things that they're being told are fair and honest. The people have to know that they can depend on the mayor, the city council, for the truth in all areas. There can be no favoritism. Everybody has to be treated equitably, fairly. We have to hire based on qualifications, not relationships or friendships. We have to make sure that the people can trust us. When people trust you, they can depend on you. And so in order for someone to be able to depend on you, they have to know that your integrity is top notch, that you're not going to make a difference in them because of their economic status or their lack of education, or whatever it is that you're basing the hiring on, your friendships on, whatever. People have to know that we are accountable to the people. For the city council and the mayor's office are offices of the people, by the people, and for the people. For that reason, we have to be able to know that we have to be trusted by those people who depend on us to make the decisions that will affect their livelihoods and their lives. So for me, I am an open book.
In closing, why should voters choose you over other opponents? And when I say you, I ain't talking about just you from what you told us here. Make us see you.
Okay. I personally see that there are 4 key areas that set me apart from my opponents. Number 1, if I see a problem, I own it, I don't wait, I act. Let me give you a couple examples. In February, I identified dangerously low cable and power lines in my neighborhood. I filed formal complaints. It took months, but I followed through diligently and secured repairs, including a new pole and a new light fixture. At the corner of 17th Avenue and Southwest 21st Street, I noticed a damaged street sign. Although it had been that way since I arrived in 2024, I contacted the city to get it fixed. Knocking on doors, because again, I've already been working with you and for you. So knocking on a door, one of our residents said, "Hey, we got that fire hydrant over there. I don't know if it's a dry well or not, because they haven't been out here in over 20 years. So I went to the fire department the next day, and the following day, that fire hydrant was flushed. Number 2, where I feel like I'm set apart, is my technical expertise. I specialize in streamlining processes, conducting gaps and root cause analysis, managing data, and applying the latest technologies to drive change. I bring a proven track record in recovering lost funds and adding tangible value to organizations. I recovered $269 million in estimating and accounting errors when I worked at the Boeing Company. When I moved on to Chevron, I delivered $700 million in value as the baseline assessment leader, which is a job that I took where I traveled around the world to evaluate businesses before Chevron would invest millions of dollars in their projects. I believe that I am ready to be your city council member. Number 3, educational strength. I hold multiple business degrees and a host of professional certifications. My 30 years of working experience in corporate America combined with my dedication to growth allows me to recognize what others might overlook. My collective experiences have helped shape who I am. So I'm wired for this. I am Teresa Booker Woody, and I'm working to earn your vote. Vote for me because I've already been doing the work. I've been working on your behalf. I was working for you yesterday, I'm working for you today, and I'll be working for you tomorrow as your next city council member for District 2. Thank you.
Well, I feel that both of these young ladies are just as qualified as I am, so I don't think that my qualifications are greater. However, I have lived the nightmare of living in District 2 and the neglect that we have experienced for these 40-something years. And so for that reason, I lived this before we got swallowed up by the city of Lanett. And so I know from personal experience what it feels like to be swallowed up. And I can just imagine how John felt when he got swallowed up by the fish. The residents of West Charlotte know what it feels like to be swallowed up. I've lived it. And so for that reason, I feel like the people of District 2 deserve a voice at City Hall. And for that reason, I want to be the voice of the people, and I solicit your votes and your confidence as I seek the office of District 2 City Council person.
I was motivated to run for city council because I love Lanett. More specifically, I love the West Charlotte community. And I realized that love for your community is not enough, but it's where I start. It's the reason I was very intentional about where we stayed. We have a very beautiful home in West Point, Georgia. And our boys grew up. We no longer needed that space. We could have built anywhere else. We thought about it. We thought about moving to Lafayette. We thought about building other places. But what we decided was, let's return back to the west side. Let's go back to District 2, where I grew up. And so my husband agreed, and we're there for the long haul. We're committed to our community. We are committed to specifically the West Charlotte and Plant City communities. I grew up in West Charlotte, and I've lived the challenges, but I've also lived the triumphs. Every day was not bad. Every day wasn't bad. And I believe our district is full of untapped potential. I spent over 2 decades serving families through our child care facility, through teaching at Lanett City Schools, through coaching, basketball, volleyball, through mentoring, and through community service. The work did not just start. My focus is mostly our youth, but I've had my boots on the ground. What I've learned is that people aren't asking for perfection. Again, they're just asking to be seen. They're just asking to be heard. And with me as your district council person, I will hear you. I will see you. And I will respect you. I'm running because I want to bring visible leadership to District 2. That means leadership you can call, leadership that you'll see at community events, and leadership that listens before it acts. To ensure constituents are heard, I plan to host quarterly district dialogues. Those are open forums for feedback and updates. I'll launch, again, a District 2 newsletter that'll be in print and in media. I'll create a District 2 social media page to streamline communication between our 2 communities, as I mentioned before. Again, I'll create a District 2 alliance that's comprised of various stakeholders in our community. I promise you that I'll keep an open door and I'll keep an open ear. Again, I want your vote, I need your vote, and I would love to be the next council person for District 2. Thank you.
Okay, that concludes our questions for these candidates. We want to thank you all. Go ahead and give them another round. Now, at this time, what we want to do is we want to open the floor for questions from the floor. But before we do that, I want to recognize anyone anyone who's running for public office for the city of Lanett, if you would please stand and let's give them a round of applause. So if you're running, okay. Now, the floor is open for questions. So if you have a question, if you would please raise your hand and someone will come to you with a mic. Any questions? Okay, we have questions. Pastor Carter, you get the mic.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm the manager for the Lanett Senior Center, and I would like to ask a question. How would you help, or what do you see a need for the seniors of your district?
We'll start with Ms. Sheila and go to the next question.
I think I'm disqualified and senior. Actually, the needs of the seniors are great. Transportation needs exist. Needs for those that are handicapped exist. I know that the blueprint program is good and it exists. All of those things are necessary for the seniors to remain vital and viable in our community. I don't know. You have to tell us what you're needing your seniors to have that you're lacking, so that we can address those things. Okay?
In speaking with the elderly or senior constituents in District 2, one of the main concerns is, as Ms. Sherry said, is transportation. And so I think that may be an issue. I'm not sure how transportation works with the senior center, but I think that it would be a great idea if our seniors had transportation. There are wonderful things. I had an opportunity to visit the senior center a couple of times, and there is a lot going on at the senior center. I think we're missing the push to our seniors to encourage them to get to the senior center. And I also think that they are often overlooked and neglected part of our population. And there are health needs. And I have a cousin here who is a nurse practitioner, certified nurse practitioner, and we've been in talks about ways that we can help our seniors in our community, creating, as Ms. Woody spoke of earlier, creating neighborhood hubs for those who don't have access to health care, because there is a disparity in health care in our community. So I would love to see those hubs developed for our community. I would also like to see transportation. And I think just the overall recreation of it, they have been forgotten. So I would love to see our seniors more involved. One of the things that my campaign has been doing is going around, and we'll release that at a later date, but we've been speaking to our seniors. We want to hear from them. What do you miss? What was Sean like when you were younger? What would you like to see in your neighborhood? They're often overlooked. And so my campaign decided that we would go out and speak to those seniors, and you all in the next coming weeks will get to hear what's going on with our seniors, what they feel. It's not so much about what we feel they're missing, it's what they feel that they need. Thank you.
Thank you for this question. I actually have a plan for that. My mother is right here. Raise your hand, beautiful. She won't die trying. So I will say that she's a very active person. And moving from a big city like Houston and coming here, we tried to get her involved in the senior center, but there was a waiting list. There was also a waiting list at the one in the valley. So my mom was like, hey, let's create something. Can we use Cal's Place to do that? And that became a theme and one of the platforms that is on our shared goal. And what that means is, they'll get together once or twice a week to have a little fun, mix and mingle, do bingo, do chair yoga, things of that nature, just a way that they can come out, meet one another, and be among friends and have a good time. So that's going to happen whether I have a seat at the table or not at the city council. That is something that we are definitely going to implement. I also would like to say that, you know, my mom has been very instrumental in helping me. I just want to take this time to thank her.
Now, due to time constraints, we're going to take just one more question from the floor. Okay? Right. No, Mama, you going to say something?
The only thing I want to say is, I was born and raised here, and all my family's here. I got married and moved like a gypsy all over the place, from here to Cincinnati, from Cincinnati to Indianapolis, from Indianapolis to Oxford, Mississippi, to Houston, and then Montgomery, Alabama, where my baby lived, my boy, back home. And I've been here 9 months. And I want y'all to know that I see lots of things that we older people need to do. We also, the women's, the old, I don't know about the men sometimes, but we need to get together and try to make this place the way it used to be. We used to help each other. We loved on each other. If one person hurt, we all hurt. If they killed a hog, everybody got something. But I'm saying this is that is, I just got into a place. I like to exercise and stuff. Don't let this cane too. It helps me, because the doctor wants me to use it all the time, and I do need it sometimes. But this place, Teresa, it's called Silver Sneakers. I went to every single place here and in Georgia. Waiting list. It took me to this week to get myself into exercise, and I'll be getting away from this stick now. So I just want y'all to know, we will have a place for us over at Cavs. I've already talked to both of them. So once we get it, hey, we're gonna have a good time. Okay? We're gonna do a little walking, we're gonna do a little dancing.
Last question to each candidate, and it's quick. If you are not the chosen and elected candidate, will you fully support whoever is elected? All of you have great ideas, great plans, and goals. Will you commit to supporting the candidate that is elected?
That's a great question. And I'm glad that you asked. We had a conversation, we were waiting in the back, and that's what we decided. No matter who is elected, we fully support each other. The initiatives that everyone has spoken of tonight and that we got to share in the back, we agreed that everybody has something to bring to the table. And if you're really for District 2, you're for District 2 regardless of who sits in the seat. Most of us have already been doing work. Yeah, we are from here and that, blah, 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 blah. But are you going to continue to work since you're from here if you're not elected? And so we have decided that the answer to your question, Pastor Barnes, is yes, we have collectively agreed that we will continue to do the work of District 2. Thank you.
Well, like you said, we all agreed on this, and so definitely, you know, we have a lot to bring to the table. We've already been working out in the community, so absolutely, you know, I will help where needed, help the city where needed, because, you know, we are in this for the long haul, and I want to ensure that our community is where it will grow into places that we want it to grow to.
As the story said, we discussed it back there. As a matter of fact, I sent her a message by her cousin when we were at Pilgrim to tell her that I said, doesn't matter who's elected, we're all in this together. And we're gonna continue to be in this together. So this community needs the work of all of us to be successful and to bring about the changes that we need to see in our district. And so the three of us have told each other that we plan to stick together long after this is over, because it's what's best for the people.
Well, this concludes our forum for tonight. We thank each of our candidates. We also thank you, your loved ones, and each of you for coming out and attending and being a part of this. Citizens of this community, we pray that this forum has been helpful and understanding of what the candidates' plans are for our community. We wish each of you the best of luck and God's grace during this election campaign. Good night.